to Pick Central. It is the best day to talk about a sporting event to have. Before we get to anyone, I just want to get through this quick. Pick Central is brought to you by the Barstool Sports book. Barstool exclusive picks and parlays from Big Cat, Dave, other personalities to follow or fade. Tons of ways to bet, live and game bets, move the line plus teasers. Easy to navigate and use. Barstool Sportsbook is the best app to use for sports gambling. Download today and create an account. $1,000 new player bonus. If your first bet loses, get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem, call 1-800. Go use the Barstool Sportsbook. All right. We are joined today by Megan, Big Ev, and a sad sack. A real sad sack right now, and that man is Smitty. He actually has been sitting like that for the past 6 minutes that we've been sitting in here, and the man is he's dead. And I saw him die live last night. I did see him die live at the Barstool Sampson. Shout out to Barstool Sportsbook, the VIP, because it was a great. They had like cheesesteak egg rolls, mozzarella sticks.
They had good food at the bar.
It was great. Would you like to just start off what you're thinking or how you're feeling?
I'm not feeling good. I'm thinking good, not thinking clearly. It was a tough one. They're up by 10 at halftime. Defense couldn't make a stop. We could do a Q&A. You can just ask me like individual stuff. But
yeah, I think people.
I not as many Philly fans are holding the holding penalty up, which I appreciate because that's not what cost them the game. Did it suck? Yeah. Was it the right call? Maybe. But just simply from a fan's perspective and an entertainment aspect, Jalen Hurts deserved the opportunity to be down 3 with 1 minute to go and see how that game goes. I mean, it could have been a classic finish either way. And it just ended like okay.
I agree with all of that.
Hurts balled out. He had one mistake. Obviously, he never fumbled all year, and then that was a quick turnaround. The Eagles dominated the first half. Shout out Isaac Samalu for going off sides on the play before, make it 3-1, 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 7, and Hurts fumbles the next play. That sucked. And then I tipped the cat that Patrick Mahomes, we said beforehand, Mahomes is going to need to play perfect, and the Chiefs with 0 mistakes. That's what happened, and I'll give a shout-out to Andy Reid. Like,
wow.
Even the touchdowns in the second half. I mean, him and Bieniemy ate Jonathan Gannon for lunch. I would like to know what Vic Fangio did the last 2 weeks during a 2-week contract. Is he a double agent? Like, did he just go in and sabotage the Eagles' defense? Well, I understand the field was a little messy for an historic pass rush like they had all year, who would just feast on opposing offensive lines. I mean, Mahomes won MVP, great, well-deserved. Chief offensive line, should each individually get a Rolex from him or some shit. They completely shut down the Eagles. But all year, they relied on Jonathan Gannon just rushing 4 or 5 with Reddick and getting to the quarterback, into the quarterback. And when that was apparent that it wasn't happening, there were 0 adjustments made, and not one player stepped up on the defense in the second half, and it sucks. It really just sucks.
All right, so let's go through quarters and the whole entire game. I'm going to say some things sometimes, and you can yell at me, but I'm going to have to say things that are had to be said, all right?
I need to address a tweet. I said when Mahomes got hurt, obviously limping, at the end of the first half, I said, hope he's okay, which was true. I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes get hurt. You don't want to root for injuries. And I said, secondly, and very, very secondly, I don't want to hear excuses if he is hurt and the Eagles win by 30. And people are coming at me now what do you think? Well, he was healthy. He was healthy, and they won.
You can't apologize for any in the Super Bowl. And I say I'm gonna win the Yankees win one playoff game. I said we're gonna win the World Series. No, that's just you're rooting for your team. But one, I also don't agree. If I was an Eagles fan, I would have loved to see Chad Henne come out there. Loved. to see
Yeah,
him come out there. You don't root for it, but if he's hurt, he's hurt.
I will say this: the last time we saw Chetani, he had one drive, was a 95-yard touchdown drive.
Yeah, but I'd still rather see him.
Well, I mean,
he does it slower than Mahomes at least. Mahomes does it in 6 seconds.
Look, at that point in the game,
burn clock.
At that point in the game, the Eagles were absolutely dominating. I mean,
They were
up by 10. They realistically, outside of Jalen Hurts' fumble, were controlling everything, and they could have been up 31-7 at halftime. I didn't care whether it was Patrick Mahomes or Chad Henne or whatever. In fact, I would obviously rather win, but I almost would rather lose to a healthy Patrick Mahomes than absolutely cold cock Chad Henne by 30. Because I don't want to hear it. Oh, Mickey Mouse Championship.
No, I'd much rather revert cold cocking Chad Henne for sure.
Yeah.
Gun to head, yes, I'd choose that.
And that's why I
won't want it to happen.
If it was the Giants in that spot, I would much rather get. I would obviously rather beat Mahomes outright, but if my option is get cold cock Henne or lose to Mahomes, I'm cold cocking Henne every time.
Of course.
Sorry, pal. Great career.
But I would think about it.
Smitty, before the game, I tell you, Patrick Mahomes throws for 182 yards. You'd take that in a second, right?
It's almost so low, it's going to be scary almost.
No, but you'd be like, we have to, like, what's with the Eagles defense and holding Mahomes to 182 yards with their run defense as well, you'd be like, oh my God, that is.
But with no turnovers?
Still,
if you told me he threw 180 yards and had no turnovers,
you wouldn't take that?
I would think a few different things. I'd almost be like, it's fit, like that the Eagles like laid a massive egg, or the Chiefs running backs fumbled like 4 times.
They didn't let Mahomes touch the ball for 15 minutes in the first half. There was a stretch where Mahomes didn't.
The first half.
Yeah, he had like 40 yards through the first 30 minutes. So that's where I was
going to go to, where it's like, bro, I was watching the game and I'm like, the Eagles had the ball every second. They were dominating. They were. At one point I did ask Smitty, did Miles Sanders get hurt? They just didn't put him in for a while, but that's how they do it. He says, no, the first half. Let's go through the first half. The fumble was in the first half, correct?
Yeah, I mean, Eagles start out with a great drive, obviously.
Great drive,
they come
but then
right down the field,
Chiefs
score.
Chiefs answered.
Chiefs come right back, answer even faster.
So scary.
The one thing I will say though is this:
they held him in check after that.
That's what I was going to say. They obviously they had the scoop and score where they gift him a touchdown, but they did stop him a few times. The Chiefs when they had the ball, and they really after that Kelsey went crazy on the first drive. And he didn't really see the ball again, I feel like, until like the second half.
Well, that's what happens when you...
And he really didn't have... Even after that, I think he had
6 for 81.
He had 6... I think he might have had 60 of the yards on like the first 2 drives.
Well, that's what happens when T.J. Edwards is covering him single coverage, and then Epps, like...
Because that first drive, he had at least probably 40 or 50 of the yards.
I actually think Juju had the best game as a receiver for the Chiefs.
He played well.
He had well. It wasn't like the stats...
Credit to the play calling. He was open.
That's what I'm saying. He had 7 receptions, but a lot of those receptions were third down, like must catch, to be open, and he played very well.
I'm just shocked that after watching this team all year that the pass rush couldn't even touch him. I'm shocked.
They weren't even close. Honestly,
I just need to know what they shot his leg up with at half, because he came out, and I mean, Smitty, you had to have felt it a little bit after that, like whenever they came out after half, and Mahomes just drove with ease down the field.
Yeah, but
your asshole got so much tighter.
No, I still thought that they would be able to dominate offensively to the point where, okay, if it's a shootout, still be able to win. And yes, the fumble in the first half, that punt return killed him. I said it in December. The only thing holding back,
return was fantastic.
Yeah, the only thing holding back this Eagles team from immortality is special teams. So then in December, and fucking Zippos, an injured punter, just a line drive that didn't even go above 20 feet for 40 yards.
He is a bad punter.
Like, what the fuck? And that return was when I was like, well, shit, this might not work out.
How many points was Hurts for? How many points did Hurts score himself? Was he scored 3 touchdowns? And he was responsible for the octopus, which I knew Miles Sanders or Jalen Hurts was going to score that octopus, and I fucking didn't bet it like a loser.
No, it's like that's the thing. Jalen Hurts played like that's a guy I was a little kind of worried about to see how he would do in a big game, and he played amazing. Obviously, that's a bad fumble. It is, but that's not like that wasn't the reason why they lost.
And it sucks because he was so good with the ball all year, so good. And it was just a.
I said realistically, I mean, I think you can make an argument he was the best player on the field last night.
100%.
I'm not saying he's better than Mahomes. Like, I'm not saying he's better than Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm saying last night.
That throw,
he was the best. I thought he was the best player on the
team. He made up for every mistake that he made.
He made a big mistake, but he was
every mistake he made up for it tenfold.
He threw into double coverage one time that could have been picked off to A.J. Brown, but other than that,
and Brown still got his hands on it.
Yeah, he was almost perfect. That throw to Dallas Goedert on the 3rd and 14 that ended up being reviewed.
The one that Quez Watkins dropped.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a dime down the field.
He's going to get paid. He's going to get paid this summer for sure. They have him on contract, but he's going to get his, and it's well deserved. And he's an awesome.
And he's been so humble all year too.
He's
like
awesome.
I will say like in previous years, like I wasn't like I wouldn't say like I wasn't anti-Hurts. I just wasn't a big Hurts fan. But like this Super Bowl made me a Hurts fan. Like he was. It's like I don't know how people don't like him. I guess if there's someone out there that doesn't, or if there's anyone that's like hating on him, I just don't. I personally don't see it.
Racism exists in America.
Oh yeah, but I mean, unfortunately,
yeah.
But.
I know we were called there, but the Hurts was the most.
Many already said he's down bad. Let him be down.
Hurts was the most whatever quarterback.
Yeah,
before.
I mean that last throw of the game. That's what we saw last year, and like you put him in an impossible situation.
Yeah, it's just a bad.
He slept. It was a bad optic.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Not that I think this would have really.
He wasn't throwing it 90 yards.
Of course,
even the Cowboys had to play. It failed, but at least they had to play. I don't know what they were doing there.
When they lined up with 6 seconds, I first thought they were going to try like a 10-yard out.
Yeah.
And then he actually, I think, could have reached the end zone. I will say this. I noticed the Chiefs crept up the corners on that one side, and they were too far from the other side to really use. It had to be, it was right or nothing. It was right side of the field or nothing. They didn't cheat up something. Maybe that was the reason they just said, fuck it. And then I think he dropped back for like 3 seconds and was like, well, like, this is it.
But the biggest thing that we all thought was that the Eagles were going to absolutely dominate the running game of the Chiefs. But Pacheco had 76 yards, which is like.
Oh, we didn't think that. I didn't think that. I thought the running game would have been okay for the Chiefs.
I thought
pass.
I would say I was more wrong about the Eagles. I thought the Eagles were going to run the ball better, but it didn't really matter because they were able to throw the ball so well that it kind of was like.
Regardless, let's talk about some of the questions we got asked. They played a real team, let up 38 points. They should have let up 41 points, but they let up 38 points.
Defense up 31.
But you could make an argument that the defense really let up like 21.
Yeah. Feels like it.
Because the punt return.
They had a punt return to the 5 and a defensive score.
But even so, that's too much. You can say that.
Yeah, it's a lot of. What'd you say, Ebo?
Sorry, I was just talking to Zaw back here. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I don't know how I would feel as an Eagles fan.
The fact that you love, I'll tell you exactly how I feel. It's disappointing because I still think they're the more talented team overall. The Chiefs going in, I didn't think would be able to make it a 2-score game against the Eagles. The Eagles were up 2 scores for a lot of the game up until the end. Like, the Chiefs had to play a near perfect game, specifically in the second half, to be able to win. I'm proud of the Eagles. Did they choke? The defense definitely did. I blame no one on Jonathan Gannon. I wonder if Arizona's going to fucking give him a head coaching job now after seeing 0 adjustments. You give credit to Andy Reid. Look, my Andy Reid stance, I grew up with this, and I sent out a tweet last night just thinking in big games that he coached for the Eagles over 10 years, and granted, it's over a decade ago. People grow, people change. I didn't see, other than the miracle of the Meadowlands 2, I don't remember one second half comeback that Andy Reid had in a big moment or a big game. You look at his 5 NFC Championship games that he played in. He was up in 2001 against a better Rams team, lost it. He didn't do dick against Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the most anticipated game in Philadelphia sports history, last game at the Vet, other than the first drive of the game, which was helped by a Brian Mitchell kick return. Like, they didn't do anything. The next year against the Panthers, they were woefully beaten the doors off of by Jake Delhomme and Ricky Manning Jr. And then the Patriots Super Bowl, they were up at halftime in 2004. And then in the NFC Championship game in 2008, they didn't do dick in the first half and came back and were leading the fourth quarter and lost it. He just has a propensity for just losing in big moments, kind of like the same ways over and over again. And I did not see that happening in the second half last night at all. Good for Andy Reid for changing, because I mean Dan Orlovsky broke down those two touchdowns where they were wide open. Like, that was all coaching.
No, it was literally what they did was they basically recognized they were selling out in the jet motion.
Yeah.
Both times they went jet motion opposite way, and literally the corner went that way and the safety went that way.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive.
Just both times, just same play, just like reverse side of the field. And going off what you just said is correct, but I think I've actually been someone who, as a Giants fan, has actually defended McNabb in the past. But I will say this: there's a difference between McNabb, who's thrown up in a huddle of a Super Bowl, and a guy like Mahomes, who's the best quarterback I've ever seen.
Believe it.
He's now 50. After that game, he's 15-10, down double digits at half.
But credit to Andy Reid.
It's fucking insane.
I mean, maybe not McNabb. He threw it in the dirt, but Chad Henne could have made those throws to the wide open.
He could have
last night. It's just excellent play.
You're not wrong.
I mean, the Eagles 417 yards to the Chiefs 340. Time of possession 11 minutes more than the Chiefs. Like, that's when you see all that. It's like they dominated kind of, but they still couldn't get it done where
they controlled the game more than they weren't.
I think it hurts more as a fan to lose the Super Bowl when you know you should have. Like,
so
you know you were right there.
The first half, I think it was like 23 minutes to like 7, and the Eagles like physically were dominating the game because they were on your television the entire time, but the Chiefs kind of just marched down the field in the first half. You like remember those?
No, they marched down the field in the first drive, and then they were punting. They were held in check pretty much.
Second half,
but it felt like
even before the first half, they had a drive that stalled, and the Eagles got it back and marched down for a field goal. They were held.
It still felt like they could kind of get 5 yards when they wanted to, though.
No.
There was a point. There was a chunk in the set, like basically the whole second quarter they couldn't.
Fair.
I think the second half, though,
the first drive they did whatever they wanted, and then the second half they did.
Because I mean, realistically, they should have had like 17 in the first half because of the doink. So I mean, it's still like not a bad half offensively.
10 if you're not counting the fumble.
Well, they got there was the fumble.
That is something like
that's what causes that
fumble changed that fumble changed the entire game.
There was no game this year in which the Eagles didn't have 0 sacks and 0 turnovers. There was a game where they had 0 turnovers. There was a game where they had 0 sacks but had 2 turnovers. There's no game where they had 0 for each. And just not having that playmaking ability on defense, where somebody steps up. Brandon Graham during the Super Bowl in 2017. It was a fucking shootout. Tom Brady threw for 500 yards. Brandon Graham stepped up one play, strip sacked Tom Brady, and that was the end of it. You didn't have that last night. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, to be honest with you.
I think the Eagles
people are going to
fucking choked.
People are going to blame the holding call. You can't blame that. Nobody on the defense stepped up.
They choked. 100% choked.
Choked is
I don't think choked.
I don't think
No, because then you're throwing Jalen Hurts into the
That's kind of where I was going.
That's not fair. The defense did not do its job.
That's 100% not true. I'm not throwing him into anything. He did everything he can. But when you say how great of a defense you guys have had all year, that's a choke job when you're up 24-14 at halftime. It just is.
Pass rush, yeah. Like having.
I guess I just don't love the word choke to describe it.
Mahomes still had to earn.
Maybe I'm being ticky-tacky, but
I think it's a definition of choke when you're up 10. You're up 10 at half. Like that is when you are a defense that you pride yourself. The Eagles have prided themselves on defense, on the pass rush. Like that, that's a game that they have to win.
But see, I agree 100%. They played bad in the second half. I don't see how anyone could say otherwise. But to me, when I look at the game, they still really let up 20. Like they let up like 21 points in my mind.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense.
It does though. How does that make sense?
Because no matter what, it's like still part.
Oh, excuse me, 24 points.
Yeah, but the fumble's a part of the game. Like that's. But
I'm saying they're deep. But that's not their defense. Their defense had nothing to do with it.
It's semantics. It doesn't matter if they choked or not. They fucking lost.
Yeah, they lost. No, they lost. But I just think they lost. They lost the game.
It wasn't a 28-3 chokage.
The penalty, although I think it shouldn't have been called at all. I think it was a bad call. And to me, listen, I bet on the Eagles. It's over the game. I don't care about the money. I hate seeing if I was a Chiefs bettor, I obviously would have been licking my chops. I would have loved it. But there still would have been a small part of me that would have been like, I hate seeing a game end like that.
That would have been a top 5 Super Bowl of all time if Jalen Hurts had the opportunity to attempt.
If he won or lost,
I was thoroughly entertained from start to finish. Yeah. Halftime too. I was thoroughly
honestly, McKinnon, shout out him. Obviously you should know that, but him going down on the one there was
very smart.
Obviously very smart. There's a lot of players.
I would have carried him in the end zone.
A lot of people.
There was a second where I thought someone was going to get close enough to try to come from behind and like shove him in. But it was tough. There was no one close enough.
I also thought Andy Reid
Andy
Reid not going for 2 when they went up by a touchdown early in the fourth quarter. I thought that was going to cost them for sure.
100%.
You absolutely go up by 9 points
if
there.
you can make it 2 possession.
Oh, man.
If you make it 2 possession, you absolutely do it.
You make it
because think about this. If you don't get it, you're up 7 still.
Exactly.
I understand. Like
he knows who his quarterback is.
I get it. I get it from the standpoint of that. The Eagles,
that makes it even better.
The Eagles had been phenomenal going for 2. Like I think they 22 for 32 on the season, like fantastic. So from that mindset, I get it, but I just feel like you got to make them earn that too.
From like a risk,
it's the point that you still can you can let up a touchdown and still bail yourself out.
Wait, but
potentially,
if it's a question of going up 6 or 8, you kick the field. You kick.
But I'm saying
the question of going up from they still have to score. They still have to earn it. They still have to stop them.
I will say,
going up 2 possessions, that's possibly huge. I mean,
I get it, but I just don't think the gap from 7, like having that little potential bailout, even if you get scored on, I just think it's a big deal.
You are a Reid hater, or I don't know, I'm not a hater, but you've dealt with a lot of stuff.
I'm a Reid dealer, yeah.
I just want to say, Sirianni pitched nearly like a perfect game. Minus that one delay a game, he was awesome within game decision making, going forward, stuff like that. Yeah. Well, no, I still think he was very aggressive on 4th downs, 3rd downs. Like
offensively, they played great.
They could get 1 yard, 2 yards whenever they wanted to.
I think
I'd almost rather
every play.
Sirianni is worth it.
Steve Young after the game said they should disavow that.
Why?
Because he thinks the Eagles have just which I completely disagree. Like if you why does everyone else do it then?
Bro, they can do it every play and probably win every game.
Exactly. I'd almost Pop Warner it. Just fucking do it all 4 downs.
They should run 3 yards up pass plays out of that.
They do. They
get run up. It's basically the V formation.
Their 3 yards are on an off play. They can get 5 on those. They're so good at it. He
just gets it so easy.
I need to address the chat boys real quick. Our guy Booze is not here today because he was out shooting a video on Broad Street till 4 a.m. and he's editing it now in Philly.
Booze is a great guy.
Booze is not here.
Booze is face the music.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Booze. This man is so out of touch during an Eagles fan.
That's
at an Eagles game. It's
In what way?
Bro, I was sitting next to him, and a lot of it was just like the Eagles went clearly offside one time. Like the guy was in the backfield. He goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Sweat?
I was like, "Bro, come on." I love bias. And then one time, the Eagles were on their own 20. It was 4th down. He goes, "What the fuck? Why aren't you kicking a field goal?" It would have been a 97-yard field goal. I go, Booze, what's going on, man? He's such a crazy fucking fuck with the Eagles.
Elliott has a good leg.
I was like, Booze.
97 yards good?
He's got a boot.
All right, well, let's talk about Patrick Mahomes because, one, this is where I was going to say you're going to get a little mad. It's the first good quarterback you've faced in a long time, and he beat you. It's just a fact.
He beat him.
And he's the first good quarterback the Eagles
first good quarterback they played is I think he's obviously
as soon as he got hurt.
He's obviously the best quarterback he's played. He's the best quarterback anybody.
Since week 5, he's by far they played dog shit quarterbacks. Just a fact.
Fine, but I'm saying he as good as Mahomes played, like you said, he threw for 180 yards.
He did what he had to do.
He did what he had to do. No, I'm saying he did what he had to do, but I think that he didn't just go out there. I'm not trying to poo-poo Mahomes on this. He's the best quarterback ever, but I just think it was their balance is what won them the game, I believe.
Yeah.
He's going to be better.
Their ability that he could throw whenever he wanted, and that Pacheco was getting big yards when they wanted.
And the play call.
Offensive line, they allowed no sacks.
Play calling after
that was a true team win on offense.
And after Travis Kelce dominated the first drive, like you said, he was pretty silent. Juju's wide open.
Sky Moore touched it, scored a touchdown.
I mean, they put McKinnon as fullback.
Him and Tony's were literally Tony was something like this.
Patrick Mahomes is going to be better than Tom Brady. I'm going to tell you that.
I mean, he's better. He's better. He's
better talent.
He's better talent.
No, I understand. We all know that.
Might not win 7.
I think he
might win 7.
He has as good a chance as anybody.
What do you mean?
Ever will.
He lost to the best receiver, one of the best receivers in the NFL, and still won a Super Bowl. That's not being talked about enough. 2, has 5 seasons and won 2 Super Bowls. He's 27 years old.
Tom Brady had to have everything go his right way with those teams to win 7. You have to have more than just your individual ability to be able to win.
Holmes has had a little bit of both of that so far.
Yeah, I think he. I mean,
like he's earned the wins, but he's gotten some bounces as well.
I don't think it's crazy to say he can get 7 Super Bowls when he's 3.
I don't think it's crazy
he's been in the Super Bowl 3 out of 5 seasons.
It's so hard.
Oh, 100%. But he's the only one that can do that. I don't think anyone else can.
I wonder what a true Vegas odds maker would make his over/under Super Bowls in his career.
I'd say 5.5.
That's the number I had in my head too.
5.5.
Right. Yes, 4.5, 5.5.
I would think
those are the numbers I had in my head.
Mahomes,
it's so hard to get there.
Mahomes' career resume though is already better than like so many guys. Like Rodgers' resume versus Mahomes.
It's already better.
Yeah.
He's better than everyone besides Tom Brady.
He just has to stay healthy is the issue. Like him staying healthy is to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be the problem.
Peyton Manning might have a little bit more just because he has some more regular season MVPs and he also has 2 Super Bowls. But Mahomes is.
The thing is, like, he got his second Super Bowl at what age? 38, whatever it was.
Yeah, like last season.
Like, he's 27 years old, and with a tight end that is going to play for another 10 years as well. 8 years.
Yeah, a few more.
Like that is, and again, he lost Tyreek Hill, and he's making Sky Moore and Juju Smith-Schuster, who is a problem on the Steelers, become really good receivers.
They're wide open. Like, but I credit more the play calling than Patrick Mahomes, but Mahomes.
I don't think so because you can do that because of Mahomes. The reason you can do those plays is because he is so lethal in every single way. Like how many rushing yards did he have? He had about like 40-something, right?
He had way more than I thought he would have.
And the 17-yarder at the end when he's all hopped up on fucking horse testosterone.
It was unbelievable. I mean,
he does whatever he does whatever he wants.
He comes up big.
Give me whatever he took during halftime, please.
You just don't feel anything.
Yeah,
that's definitely. And I'm gonna take a second from the sports. You are an absolute loser if you didn't like that halftime show.
Fact.
You're an Rihanna, I'm going to tell you something.
And she's pregnant again. She's out there fucking pregnant performing.
The people who were trying to see, to me, I thought it was clear she was obviously she was pregnant. Like, I just know what Rihanna looks like.
No one rubs the belly when they're not pregnant.
Yeah, and just the way they were accentuating the belly, the zippers open. And to me, it was very clear the dance move she was doing. Like, I've seen her dance. She's a great dancer. They would obviously have her doing much more if she wasn't pregnant.
Let me tell you something.
Like the people who are like, oh, underwhelmed. I'm like, one, you're literally hating on a pregnant woman doing a halftime show.
One, like I have trouble walking up
the
stairs.
most gorgeous woman in the like. Oh my god,
Rocket. Yeah, it's fantastic.
We work on the second.
Beautiful.
We work on the second floor, right?
We do.
We take the elevator down because we get exhausted.
Yep.
Taking the stairs. She was pregnant. She's about 6 months pregnant. That's
with her second baby. Second one.
She literally just had a baby in May.
And second of all, Rihanna's the coolest girl in the world right now.
Without question.
There's no one.
She's always been the coolest girl
than her. She hasn't put out an album since 2015.
Yeah, not
and everyone's begging for it. And she went out there and gave everyone her top hit, and we fucking ate it and loved it. And everyone who didn't are losers, and probably people that just are begging for a brand new CD just so they can hate on it.
People just like to hate things. It's like literally, she didn't do anything crazy. She didn't do anything bad. It was just good. I don't know what the fuck else you can do.
There wasn't like a lull at all. Like usually there's like some weird kind of like scenery change or like outfit. Like obviously she's pregnant so she can't do all that. It literally, I was so entertained, and like there was not a moment where I was like looking elsewhere or like wondering what anyone else was thinking. I was
what
just
else is cooler when you're doing an interview and someone's like, oh, you're gonna bring out a special guest? She's like, oh, I'm gonna bring someone, and it was her fucking kid.
Yep.
In her stomach.
Flex.
That's crazy. That's cool.
I thought that was people were saying that when someone going to come out. Like I was like, she's not going to bring anyone. She's like
Rihanna.
She doesn't need to bring anyone out.
There was a brief moment when all the lights started playing where I was like, is she about to do something crazy?
That's jokes though. Like if you thought she actually was going to bring her out,
that would have been.
That's like Twitter.
I
jokes.
know, yeah, right. But there was a brief moment where I was like, "There's no way, right? There's no
Rihanna,
shot."
by far, is the coolest girl living right now.
Yeah,
100%.
I will vouch for that.
Second is
my favorite picture of all time is her on. I asked someone to tweet it to me. They tweeted it to me. She's literally at a festival on her bodyguard's shoulders, just rolling a blunt on his head.
Yeah.
Literally just breaking up weed on the top of his fucking head.
Having a kid for her is probably brutal because she just can't smoke. She loves smoking.
I will say, as someone that also enjoys partaking, it definitely is a brutal 9 months.
Yeah.
But Women got to do what we got to do, you know?
But yeah, you're just an actual, like, if you just hated that, it's like, bro, what else do you want? She's fantastic and the best. So shut the fuck up.
It also kind of as much as I love Rihanna, like even like the last week or just normal, I'm not like just punching Rihanna in on my playlist all the time. I was glad to remind me just how many legitimate bangers she has.
She could have kept
banger
going.
after banger after banger.
Every single song she played, I was like, oh, that's a smash.
She could have kept going.
She didn't even play all of them.
Yeah, she could have kept going.
She literally performed probably at like 15% too, just because of her being pregnant. But even her facial, like the way she was like emoting, was just like better than anybody else. I love her.
She's awesome.
So Smitty stepped out, and I mean, I don't. It's so.
She probably hated the halftime show.
So quickly. Last night I was at the Barstool bar. I want you guys to actually tell me what you feel about this because I was at Barstool bar. I bet on the Chiefs. It was like $400 to $500. It wasn't a crazy bet. It's not going to change my life. These people are living and dying with their team. I didn't want to be an asshole and be cheering for the Chiefs by myself while these people are living and dying with it. I think I know you like being the heel and whatever. Listen, I'm the heel in most of situations, but I don't like when people are in my face when there's nothing to do with them.
No,
if the Chiefs have nothing to do with me. I picked them. It's like
you're rooting for your money,
and I'm not on a stream. Like I'm not. It's not even. I'm not. No one's filming me. So it's like that's where I'm like I'm not gonna fucking. I was right though. You guys were fucking wrong all week. You guys were all wrong. Besides me and Megan and Brandon, all said the Chiefs are a better team than the Eagles, and they just fucking are. You guys keep saying that the Eagles are a more talented team. They're not.
Well, we're turning. I know we're gonna flip this script.
All right. We're going now. Right, I gave Smitty his.
No, but here we go. No. Now it's like
let's go.
But now it's time where you're going.
Stop doing this boring shit.
We were
guys get all your soaked.
They won in this dominant fashion.
No, they didn't win dominant.
Right.
They didn't win dominant.
So right.
But I was right. They're a better team. The Chiefs are a better team than the Eagles. Obviously.
No.
They just are, bro.
You play that game 100 times. You're saying like the Chiefs win that like 60 times?
Yeah.
That's
maybe 50,
crazy.
58.
I'd say 50. I'd say 55.
It's close.
I'd say 55-45 Eagles.
That's crazy.
I was willing to give it a coin flip. Like I think like they are just the two.
It's not going to be 55-45. Like
saying 60-40 Chiefs is insane.
Also, great call on the tails, Ev. I know I texted you that.
Look, the Chiefs.
The best thing that you guys did all week was like, we understand they have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Well, that's all they needed.
The Chiefs played a perfect game almost, especially in the second half, and won by.
They did. That's what I'm saying.
They needed to play that perfect.
They didn't play perfect in the first half.
But then the second half they did.
But they kind of did. They kind of played a decent.
They drove right down, scored.
They got
handed a touchdown.
Score.
And they missed a field goal. That's not a perfect first half. They didn't play that well in the first half.
Their biggest mistake was they missed a field goal.
Yeah, they didn't get sacked once. They didn't do any turnovers.
That is why they're the better team. Like they do what they have to do. They know they've been there before. They know exactly what they have to do. And the Eagles did not do what they had to do. That's what makes you a better team.
The Eagles didn't fluff the refs pregame.
I mean, that was a whole fucking guy.
You even admit, but. It was a dog shit call.
No.
Bradbury took credit for it. I respect him being the bigger man.
Yeah, and I'm more referring to the AFC Championship game than
listen.
The Super Bowl.
That fucking you can You can screenshot a tug of a shirt. That is like the screenshot of a tug of a shirt has no bearing on the impact of it impeding him to the ball.
Listen,
anything like that. He was not the ball was uncatchable. The uncatchable part has nothing to do with the call, but just for like the sake of just reference. I mean, I don't know.
Listen to me here.
I hate that call at any point in the game.
No, but tell me if I'm wrong.
That call there is crazy, but it's not the reason the Eagles lost. Because you cannot guarantee the Eagles go down and score. You cannot just give them that right. It was annoying that they didn't get that opportunity. And obviously, you're feeling optimistic. They're a team that scored 35 points already in the game, so that's a big aspect of it as well.
It was an injustice to entertainment.
I think it was injustice.
I mean, the call was weak, but I feel like they did a pretty good job throughout the game.
I thought they did a fine job throughout the game. I thought a lot more calls were going to be called.
That call was weak, and I was on the Chiefs. It was a weak call.
Listen, the call. Let me tell you something. The call was right, but did not need to be called there.
I don't think it was right.
Look, they let it, and they
held,
and they for
but he was not like he got. There was a small tug. If you called every single one of that every game,
but that's what
they didn't call that at all yesterday.
But if you called that level, like it would be a penalty every.
That's why you guys are not listening, because I just said I think it's a penalty, but you don't have to call it there. Like, it's fine there's penalties every fucking play. There's literally a penalty every play.
Yeah, it kind of felt like he was a cop waiting to give somebody a ticket. Like, it kind of felt like he had to throw a flag for whatever reason.
You just didn't have to call it there. Before we keep going with the big game, tune into Fox at 2:30 Eastern on February 19th for Daytona 500. It's the 75th anniversary of NASCAR. Daytona 500 is considered the most prestigious and important race in NASCAR and has opened the NASCAR season every February since 1982. I actually been to Daytona 500. It was fantastic. These people already today are starting to camp out in their campers on the infield. Like, it's the coolest event. If you've never gone and you can go, definitely try and get there. It's the best. This year, Jimmy Johnson will make his NASCAR Cup Series return since 2020. And Travis Pastrana is attempting to qualify for the Daytona 500. You remember him?
Yeah, he was a beast.
He was sick.
He motocross. I feel like, didn't he do like everything?
Like X Games.
Didn't he try to do like NASCAR at one point or something?
So is he doing NASCAR now?
He's back again.
He did Mario Kart on tricycles in 2013 with Barstool Sports. That was the first video like everyone did together. And then we got bought out, and everyone's a millionaire. Besides some people.
Nate was Mario.
That's another person. That's not going to be a millionaire on Friday. Daytona 500, February 19th, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Go watch it there. All right.
Can I ask you a question?
Nice guy. Awesome dude.
I have no signal on my end. Is that for everyone or is it just for me? Because it just says, I just see like an old school TV, like no signal sign.
That's just for you.
Okay, cool. I'm still here. I just can't see anyone.
Yep.
Y'all let me know if you want to.
I will say for the Eagles, Goddard was unbelievable. That man has glue on his hands. I don't understand how he caught some of those in huge moments. Dallas Goedert was fantastic last night.
Dimes by Hurts. Absolute dimes.
So on the spot here, the NFL spent 2 years growing the worst grass of all time. So if you explain that, because obviously they were slipping. Elliott slipped on the first on the halftime kickoff as well.
Yeah, they were talking about how they had I guess it's always a problem in Arizona because it's a desert and it's really hard to grow grass. But they spent like 2 years growing their special Tahoma 31 grass at Oklahoma State, and it was kind of a flop.
Oh, was that Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
I thought it was someone tweeted that it was in Arizona grown.
So Oklahoma State turf crew or whatever the turf management department, I guess, grew it maybe in Arizona or at their facility. I'm not really
They said it was installed 2 weeks ago.
So it's T. Boone Pickens' fault. That fucking oil.
Mike Gundy.
That
was.
Ebo,
they're
this
slipping everywhere.
Team wearing white is now 16-3 in the last 19 Super Bowls. I was wondering who was going to wear white, and when I saw it was Chiefs, I was like, oh. I don't know why I didn't know it was that big of a thing, but that's what. Also, none of these stats mean anything. That's why it's the best though. Going before it's like when
NFL MVPs are now 1-9.
Yeah, 1-9.
Teams that defer the coin toss are now 1-7.
Yeah, I think you can separate those things as to meaning something and also just being kind of interesting. Like, it's not funny. Every stat has to be some sort of information that you act on. You can just be like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh, it's a fun stat.
Yeah, you can just walk away from a stat just like, oh, that's kind of interesting, and that's it. That's all you got to
I know our book didn't offer the Gatorade prop color, but
we did actually.
Oh, did it?
Yep.
I didn't see it.
I think it's only certain states.
Yeah,
I think
it wasn't in Louisiana. Sorry.
Well, I was just imagine betting it and then not actually seeing it. You didn't they didn't show the actual Gatorade shower.
Yeah, true.
So like you saw them like dripping, but you weren't sure what color it was.
It was purple, right?
It was purple. Yeah.
Which was the longest odds.
So we actually had to go in
1600, I think.
The social team. We had to go into the Getty assets and just look for pictures where someone dumped the Gatorade because there's no video footage of it anywhere.
I'm gonna be careful with what I say right here, but there's another company that we will not speak about who are assholes and got their commercial completely wrong. And if you can figure that out,
I would have no idea who that would be. I definitely never used to work there.
Yeah, exactly. But it was good. That's all I gotta say. Scumbags trying to rip off everybody else. That's what I'm gonna say. All right. Do you guys have anything more you want to talk about? We're going to keep talking about the Super Bowl, obviously, but it's just you guys spent 2 weeks in my ear about the Eagles.
Stop it with that.
I think that Max cutting his hair, idiot. These Eagles fans got too. You guys got too high on.
That's that baseball player coming out of you, Marty. That's that.
When he came in and cut his hair, I was like, bro, you cut your hair the week of the Super Bowl? Like, how stupid?
No, that's crazy. I agree.
You be?
Awful call.
That's and also like, bro, your hair is down to your fucking ass.
What does it matter?
What does it matter? You getting a couple inches off? He was more worried about going to Phoenix and looking good. Meanwhile, you have to now you owe Big Cat $6,000 because you are an idiot and cut your hair. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. A lot of these Eagles fans too close to the sun. They were like not worried. They're like, we're the best team. We played who's on our schedule. Who cares? Our defense. Reddick's gonna sack him. He'll go get him. Didn't come fucking close to him.
I had some sources that were boots on the ground in Arizona, and my one source said it felt like the Eagles fans had already felt like they won.
It felt like that.
My one source. I won't reveal my source. Someone in the office.
Eagles travel well.
It felt like that for a while. These Eagles were very. It felt like they were already. You know what?
Didn't Max pre-drink champagne too? Wasn't that caught on video?
He did. That man had a bad week.
Hank was on an all-time hater moment last night, just fucking pouring champagne and stuff. That was hater stuff.
Yeah, no, these Eagles fans, they it sucks. You know,
it's a Super Bowl. Fuck you. We've been there 4 times in our lives, 3 times or 4 times ever, 3 times in our lifetime.
It's just it's unfortunate when you lose the World Series and the Super Bowl in the same year. It's a lot of emotions that are not good.
And a Union Championship. 99 days. I mean,
where the soccer team lost.
This one hurt a lot more than the Phillies.
Yeah, because you were. Yeah, that's for sure.
Because the Eagles
should have won.
Yeah, they
and you were a 1 seed. Like you were supposed to be there. And
I don't know why they didn't send Tico to the Philly bar with you. I think that would have been a great some great vibes.
Philly bar was
great.
Barstool VIP party was fantastic. If you are part of the sports book, you can get that status and be invited to these events, and it was awesome.
They had to shut it down because y'all were at capacity, huh?
Yeah, like 1 p.m.
Yeah, it was insane there.
Good time.
It was fun. I'll say it was fun watching Smitty at the end of the game. I was watching him from far, and it was fun.
It was just depressing at that point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was I will say, though, I had Gainwell fucking first touchdown.
Yeah, it hurts. Fuck
yeah,
you.
So fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. And anytime.
Can we talk about Nadeau, Smitty? What did Nadeau do? All-time Eagles fan, Jeff Nadeau.
Yes. I don't want to. There's no reason to. I don't even know what he did. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, tell me what he did.
So is that something now? So, Smitty, do you...
What, the rat guy?
What? No, I don't know who the rat guy is. I'm saying that you have
Warlocks, man.
You're number
Warlocks.
1. You're supposed to win this Super Bowl.
Bazungas.
Bazungas.
Supposed to win this Super Bowl. Your quarterback.
Knockers.
You got your guy. You have a lot of pieces to sign this year. Are you worried about it?
Yeah, well, that's why last night was obviously important. It was a must-win game. But that's why it's even more demoralizing. You don't get there that often. Like, you got to take care of business, especially when that was the most talented Eagles team, at least I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. They got to sign Hurts. They're losing, out of the bunch, Bradbury, who is basically an all-pro. They're losing C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They're losing Hargrave. Lane Johnson's getting a year older. Kelsey's getting a year older. I think they'll be back. They're going to be in the mix, but are they going to be as purebred talented as they were this year in an absolute perfect time to get to the Super Bowl? Because I'm not biased in the fact that, yes, they did have a relatively easy schedule. The NFC was historically weak. I know 3 teams out of the NFC East made the playoffs, but, I mean, let's be honest, they weren't the Giants and the Cowboys weren't the strongest teams they've ever seen make the playoffs. So it's going to be tough to get back to where they were in position to win, but they'll be in the mix.
I will say this though, obviously they are going to lose some talent, just spread out across both sides a little bit. But I think that just kind of just happens with Super Bowl teams. It's hard to keep all those guys, but Hurts is going to keep getting better though.
I hope so.
I would think so, at least.
He's 24.
I hate that, but I just think it's the truth.
He's 24 years old.
I don't want to be sad or morbid, but how many Super Bowls do you think you'll see the Eagles win in your lifetime, left?
I'll be genuinely honest. I talked to Pete about this. I'm like, Pete, you're all right? He's like, yeah, I don't care anymore. We got our one. We were 0 for 52, and we got one. And
Big Dick Nick.
If this was that one, it would hurt that much more. But because we have that one, it's nice. I hope and expect them to be back. It still sucks. There's no reason why they can't be back, because Hurts is going to be getting better. As long as he has his legs under him.
I just thought, as long as he stays healthy, I just thought the progression he made as a passer this year was I think only two guys really, and they both been recent, is him and the jump that Allen made from that first year to second year. But
and I guess maybe Drew Brees too.
Yeah, but that was a little different. It was, but fair. Look, it was good on the.
Speaking of another team that's not going to a Super Bowl anytime soon.
I just think it hurts the way he jumped this year. If he can keep that. He's not going to make that big of a leap every year. He's not so good, but I'm saying
that was the biggest.
He can continue if he's going to progress. He's going to be a top 5 quarterback in this league for a long time.
There were two things holding Jalen Hurts back from being a true franchise quarterback. Number one was his decision making last year. I mean, any of us can improve on that. You work hard, you get in the film room, that's fine. Number two was his throwing strength and accuracy, specifically on deep balls. If you were to Madden ranking him last year on throwing power and accuracy, he was probably at 80 power and 79 accuracy. The fact that he shot up to 94 power and 97 accuracy in 1 year, that's a jump I've never seen before. I didn't even think it was possible. And if he's able to keep that level of consistency while having the threat of the run, he will be in the top 5 MVP voting year.
Well, next year is a big, obviously he's going to get his money this year, which is good for him. But then next year it's going to be, because obviously people have fluky years of quarterbacks. I don't think it's a fluke. I don't think he's a fluke.
His demeanor, his work ethic, the way
he carries himself very well.
He is the perfect representative for.
But that is something that is true.
No, it's a fair point. I just think when I see him, I don't see that happening.
I didn't think Cam Newton was gonna go downhill.
But I wouldn't even call. But I would saying he had he had a stretch of 5, 6 really good years. His body just broke down.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
Obviously, he had the 1 year he was his best year, the MVP year. But even the guys on the podium last night, even Mahomes and Kelsey, they were like, if you guys don't believe in Jalen Hurts, you're crazy.
Oh, you're all
crazy. That guy's a dog.
He was very good. 304 yards last night
and he had passing
70 rushing,
at 70 yards, 4 combined touchdowns.
Yeah,
the 2-point conversion. He was, the guy's a bull. He's a monster.
He's a little selfish not giving it to Gainwell after he almost got in. That's besides the point. I was so fucking.
Also, his ball placement last night, overall, was just
No, he didn't make any.
Really good.
The
really
decision making, but again.
He's just matured so much in the last year. I'm talking just his QB IQ, obviously his throwing ability. I didn't see him being a top 5 QB, and obviously now he definitely he went to the Super Bowl. I was really, really impressed, and I'm usually not one that's easily impressed.
You want to know what I think part of it is? I remember because I just can't. I remember there was such a different Hurts, even just Alabama, Oklahoma, dreads Hurts. And then when he shaved the head and went to Oklahoma, obviously he's made leaps since then, but I don't know what happened. I feel he got once he shaved the dreads, he just became such I don't know what happened. He just became this different guy.
He went on his grown man shit.
That's what I'm saying. He got in his gully shit.
Yeah.
His grown. I don't even know. He just changed a lot.
And mentally, he's always been there. It's the physical improvements from last year to this year I've never seen before in a quarterback. Really, even Josh Allen.
Is it him and Allen?
Josh Allen, you knew he had the arm strength at least.
Allen's was his accuracy. I've never seen with him. I was talking about pure accuracy for both of them.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts last year. You look back at the Tampa Bay playoff game. Anything above 25 yards was. Ben Mintz is looking to shoot it down on a video for content.
Yeah, we'll talk about that really fast. That video.
The halftime show.
Oh, he's a big hunter now. Did you realize that?
I didn't watch.
Did you guys get to watch the halftime show?
No.
I enjoyed it.
We flew him out for.
It was very funny.
Halftime.
I think it was the perfect amount of time. It was exactly 4 to 5 minutes, which was the perfect. It was just.
I know the shirt came off at some point.
Oh, it came off for this. He did 2 songs. He was in the beater for the second song.
Talk about he He doesn't know how to use style. He doesn't know how to take out a bobblehead. And I think, listen, the man sitting next to him who got snowed on.
That was the funniest fucking, like, if I was that guy, I would have turned around and be like, would you fucking mind, dude? What are you doing here? Like,
I don't think the guy noticed. At least, and obviously in the moment, I don't think he noticed.
Oh, I think that he was like, I don't know.
Or you think he was? Or you think he was that? Or you think he was that passive? He just was gonna like wait till.
He seemed like a passive guy.
Yeah,
it's possible.
I mean, he literally had styrofoam in his fucking hair.
People don't want to be on camera. And Mincy's just a menace.
And then the neck was just completely stretched.
He just like ripped it off.
Like,
again,
this man loves aisles.
There's nothing better than like after the Super Bowl, everyone's talking about the refs. Rizal, can you pull up Mincy's last tweet from last night? Just like everyone's talking about the refs, everyone's talking about the game, and I was waiting for in what way can Mincy make this weekend about himself? And sure enough, he just did. He knows how to make it about himself. Every single time, and I audibly laughed. I was like, that's just... Zaz about to put it up. Never mind. Oh, yep. There we go. Laying in bed trying to figure out if I live in a simulation. What a weekend. It's the Super Bowl.
I, too, am wondering if I live in a simulation.
The Super Bowl was on, but let's reminisce on the halftime show from the Mince Man and him opening up a bobblehead.
That was...
The bobblehead was really fucking funny.
Bobblehead was unbelievable.
Anytime I'm having a bad day, I'll go watch that, and I'll watch the Kodak Black Sunday Conversation. Like every time,
Mincy's great. I just pictured Mincy sending out that tweet from like his hotel bed as if he just like sold out the Garden.
Oh my God, he did. Yeah,
like just like I can't believe like this journey.
17 people.
Like he was like we were just playing for 3 guys in an open mic just 5 years ago. Here we are selling out the biggest venue in America.
I loved it. Let's go through our picks quick, and then I'll run through a couple things. Big F, go.
I'm on the over in UNC Miami. It's like 155. I'm on Baylor -6.5, and I'm on Texas Tech +4.5.
Smitty.
I'm in morning.
Yep, I'm glad you're not even betting. That actually makes me happy. That's a responsible gambler, everybody. Megan.
I'm on Grambling -5. I'm on Miami +4.5. And if Jack will text me back, I will have a boosted parlay of Texas moneyline, Baylor moneyline, and Miami +5.5, which is the number it is now.
So many. That's 1776. All you needed last night was the win. So many.
That was it, really? Damn.
Fuck. I'm going to have. You have UNC -4.5, Drexel +10, Texas -4, West Virginia +4.5. This weekend in just like Barstool was crazy. Drake Sunday Conversation. Drake
awesome.
Drake is someone that's like you can't that's someone when you can say what a world. Like what the fuck? They were at his house.
What a world.
He's honestly he's like such a chill guy.
This kid is the cutest kid of all time. He's the coolest shit. Everyone, if you haven't watched it yet, go to YouTube or our Instagram or Twitter, whatever. Drake Sunday Conversation was awesome. GB sounds
so funny.
great.
Like I have a quote in my head. Obviously, you need to go watch, but like there's just one specific thing that Caleb asked, and Drake's response, like I fucking like lost it. Like it was this just most bizarre response I've ever heard in my life, and it was just Drake made it though because it's Drake. It made sense. It was just so fucking funny. Funny.
You're a sick puppy, GB.
Yeah.
Puppy.
Just like Glenny Balls, like Caleb meeting Drake is like, okay, Caleb's cool, whatever. Like that's just. I'm not even that shocked anymore when Caleb meets somebody. But
at the Barstool bar for Who's Better, Glenny was there, and he obviously it hadn't come out yet, and Glenny just kept saying I need to be his wingman. He's like, just tell him I met Drake, and I'm like, they're not going to believe that. And he's like, but I did. I'm like, but they're not going to believe it because the video's not out yet.
Glenny just sitting next to Drake is just something you just
in a tight fucking Raptors jersey. Like,
yeah, it's outrageous. What else happened in Barstool this week? There's so much shit happened.
Any Son of a Boy Dad come out? A new one? Do we find out more about Pick Central?
I feel like that's going to be a fun one.
It'll be a fun episode tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow.
What do we find out on the next Son of a Boy Dad?
Oh man, I'm not going to be here tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow because we'll tease it. Brandon will be back.
Because no texts, no calls.
Seems like we're not going to be on the show anymore, but we'll see, right?
We'll see.
It's going to be a contentious show tomorrow. I could tell you that.
I'm really sad that I'm not going to be in.
I wasn't going too hard at Smitty today. We just talked about the game. I wanted to get the game out because tomorrow's going to be a lot of yelling.
Yeah, you can go. I mean, people can go hard. It's whatever.
I wanted to actually
stay here and take it on the chin.
I wanted to actually talk about the game, which was nice to talk about.
But the Andy Reid stuff, like Andy Reid is confirmed one of the greatest head coaches of all time.
I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
Well, he is.
Smitty, I will say that I feel like you've taken everything extremely well.
No, and honestly, it's not even him winning. It's look at what Orlovsky said about the play calling on the two.
No, he was correct. If you watch,
I mean, that was a masterclass of coaching. Sirianni and Gannon.
Smitty, I think we give you too much slack for it. Sometimes. As much as like we respect Reid, because I think Reid beat, especially me and Marty. I grew up just with Andy Reid just beating me a lot.
Yeah.
Growing up, but I understand.
Got over the hump, and
that's what I was. If you let me finish, I was going to give you that. That if I was in your shoes and we got so close and never won a title, I'd have bitterness for him too.
Oh yeah, but the funny thing is that Dusty Baker and Reid just both won this year.
I could have fucking coached that Astros. Are you fucking kidding me?
All right, that's
almost lost. I pitching Lance McCullers in game 3
Go
or 4.
Stros!
That's the show.
Yeah, fucking Framber there. Best pitcher on earth.
That's the show. The Yak is up next, and make sure to tune in to Pick Central tomorrow because I believe there will be some fireworks. All right, see you guys. Also, shout out Terrence Ross, killing the Suns.